Alright, loosen these bolts up. You don't have to remove them. Unfortunately, I just pulled this one out, so I'm going to try to put it back in a little bit. Alright, this is loose. This gives me the room. I should be able to slip the starter in here. I put these rubber grommets in. There's one on one side and there's one on the other. There's two rubber grommets. So slip. Alright, to aid putting this in, a little soap. Just a little bit there. A little simple green. Flip this baby in there. This top bolt and that one's going to face just about straight out. And we're going to get this lined up. Pretty good. Yeah. Okay. Now, if it's in right, it's in the slot and it won't rotate. If it's not in right, you can rotate it. So what you'll see is when I push this in here, this part of the actual starter hits the inside of the housing and it will not rotate once I get in that position. Of course I have in there first shot. Alright, here we go. We know this bolt's got to pretty much face out. So I'm going to twist this in, give it a little tap. There we go. We know that's right. We know the bottom's right, because that's where that cable goes for the starter. Here's your ground. So you'll know that ground lines up. We can actually line that up right now. A little different. It's not a regular installation, but not a big deal. Okay, we got that started. Can bring this starter around once we get that lined up, but all this has got to go in first, so we got to get these two cables in. Now what I want to do is I want to look in on the top, make sure it's flush. If it's flush and it's flush on the bottom, then I know I can put the caps on. So my tag and bag caps here, one on the top again. And I even wrote here on the bag, the bottom two are longer. So there are 3 bolts. And don't mess this up. Don't put one on the top that's longer. And as you can see, this one's about 1/4 of an inch shorter. And if you put that on the bottom, or you put these, should I say, a long one on the bottom, you probably break the block. I've had students do that before. That's why we teach. Right. One, two. Okay, let's start with the bottom bracket. And that bottom bracket's going to sister in here. And again, I'm going to read my little note. The bottom 2 bolts are long. Let's compare. There's one. And the other one. This is going to be the long one. It'll fit on the inside. Here's the short one. On the outside. Nope. There's the short one on the outside. So make sure you pay attention. The short one is the same length as the other one. So make sure you pay attention to this. So, put a little bit of spray. My dog's barking again as always. I love that dog. Slip this in here. goes one. Grease. Get the inner bolt in there. Get that started. Yep, that's easy. And I did forget to grease the outside one, so we're gonna put a little grease in the outside one. Keep me honest. That bottom bolt in. Got that one started. There's no ground bolts that go to this again. We did this before. Took it apart as a team. This one is the weird one. So what you got to remember is the timing pointer was on the inside, and the let's just look at this real quick and see if we can figure out how this goes. So top bolt goes through here, and the timing pointer was on the inside, not the outside. If it was on the outside, it'd be out here. It wouldn't make any sense. So we put it here. It makes a little more sense where it goes. It's a very weird thing because the actual part number's upside down. So the next person that's got to take this apart in another 50 years, like me, at least the bolts will come out. So that indicator has to go up. Get these two bolts started. Grease. Make sure that everything looks good. Tighten this down. Again, the battery's disconnected. You never have the battery connected while you're working on starters. Don't do that. So remember this back one? I just got the carburetors out of the way, and I found that, you know what, I don't really want to spend all day on this, so I'm going to use a flexible socket. Get my ratchet here. And I probably could zip it in with a ratchet with the impact gun, but I'm just gonna put this on here and try and come on, quit fighting me. There we go. If I can get it close. I don't like to tighten them up with an impact gun, especially like this position, just because. There we are. That's snug. That's snug. That's snug. Alright, let me go find the torque specs and get this ready. Alright, we went through the book, and the only thing we found was the carburetor bolts. That's 110 inch-pounds. I'm going to re-torque those, and then there is no torque spec for these 4 bolts. And with aluminum, I'm going to go with 15 foot-pounds, do their 5/16. Or you can just snug them up. These bolts, unfortunately, there's absolutely no torque. So you really need to hold this with one wrench and then tighten the other one with another wrench. And that's where you really need a ground down wrench. You're going to have to grind it down to fit it. Hold it and tighten it up and just snug them up. Don't go crazy. What you don't want is to over tighten it and spin it in the housing, because that'll damage the inside of the starter. So that's something I'll show later. So first I'm going to tighten these 4 bolts up to get this starter torqued. Alright, so I'm at 15. I want to get this inside bolt first because this is a bugger. Trying to get this one in there and push this out. Let's see if I can't get this. There we go. That's the worst one. Again, I'm going to try and do 15 foot-pounds. Seems kind of tight. There we go. Let's try this one again. There we go, 15. And this one's going to be a little bit loose. 15. That won't come apart. Now the other two I got to tighten up, and I'm just going to tighten them up securely by hand. No choice. All right, we're going to torque the bolts for the carburetors, 110 inch-pounds. 1, 2. There's 3. And there's 4. Okay, so the starter's torqued. I got the carburetor torqued back. I got that flange back on. Previous video, I just put all this stuff back together. Found that the starter's no good. I'm gonna blast this back together. So then I'll come back here and I'll start back where we hit the starter and see if it starts. Alright, we're at the moment we've been waiting for. I got a new starter installed, the carburetors are all redone. I made new spark plug wires. That was the last thing for the ignition system that needed to be done. I've synchronized it and set the carburetors. So the only thing I think I need to do is start it and adjust the carburetor mixture, adjust the idle speed, and we should be good. So here we go. Please remember to turn the water on first. Okay, I think we got it done. One more time. That's how they should run. Yeah, there's a water jacket leak in the back. Looks like the gasket's failed. That's just going to take all those back bolts off to pull that cover off and change that gasket. That's one last thing, but that's easy, just nuts and bolts. So all set. We're done with this video. Okay, so if you like the video, hit that like and subscribe button. We got this one all back together.